boys and girls, you might know who we're reading about today. It's Pete the Cat. This one is called The First Thanksgiving, so it's a pretty special book. It tells us what happened a long, long time ago on the very first Thanksgiving. If you can see, Pete is actually dressed pretty differently here. He's got a long hat and a blue suit. So a long time ago, there were people called the Pilgrims, and this is how they were dressed. And you can see this boat right here. So a long time ago, if you wanted to go somewhere very far away, there weren't airplanes or cars to drive anywhere. So the Pilgrims had to use a boat. They traveled across the ocean in this boat right here. And let's find out what else happened to them. Pete was nervous about being a pilgrim in his class's Thanksgiving play, The First Thanksgiving. Just do your best, his Pete friend Callie said. Pete said he would try. He was ready. His mom had even made him a pilgrim hat, which was really cool. So there's the hat again. Pete took his place at the front of the giant ship that his class had made out of cardboard. Pete was a pilgrim on the Mayflower. So the Mayflower is the name of the ship. In 1620, a group of pilgrims decided to leave England for a new place to build a new life. It was a long, long trip on a big, big ship, all the pilgrims sang. The sea was rough and very dangerous, so many of the pilgrims got very, very sick. The dream of a new start in a new world made the hard trip all worth it. For more than 2 months, the pilgrims sailed. They wondered if they would ever get there. So it shows all the X's. Those are all the days that they were on ships, or on the ship. After 65 days on the ship, the new world finally came into view. Land ho, Pete cried. All the pilgrims did a happy dance. Pilgrims arrived in the new world at Plymouth Rock in what is now Massachusetts. Everyone had many chores to do, like growing food, finding water, and building shelters. So a long time ago, there weren't grocery stores that you could just go to for food, and there weren't a lot of houses. So if you wanted food, you had to grow it yourself in the ground, and if you wanted a house, you had to build it. Pretty different. The first winter in the New World was long and hard. In the spring, the pilgrims had to decide whether to give up and go back to England or keep trying. The pilgrims had heard about the Native Americans, and many worried that they would not be friendly. Pete had never met a cat he didn't like, so he thought he would be kind. So this is what a Native American dressed like. And there's Pete being very nice to him. Let's see what happens. Pete was right. He made a new friend in Squanto. Squanto and the other Native Americans showed pilgrims how to grow crops like corn and beans and squash. By the summertime, the pilgrims had learned how to farm on their new land. So were the Native Americans, was Squanto nice or was he mean? He was very nice. He helped the pilgrims so they could have lots of food to eat. By the fall harvest, the pilgrims had plenty of food. To thank Squanto and the other Native Americans, the pilgrims invited them to share the harvest. This celebration became known as the First Thanksgiving. You can see they're all sitting together like friends. Pete was relieved when the play was over. He had remembered all his lines. Wow, I never thought about how hard it was back then, said Pete. You did great, said Callie. Later, at Thanksgiving dinner with his family, Pete said, let's go around the table and say something we're all thankful for. So Mommy says, I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for my skateboard, said Bob. I'm thankful for the brave pilgrims that started this new free world, said Pete. What are you thankful for? So this will be another chance for you guys to think about all the things that make you happy and what you're thankful for. But this is why we celebrate Thanksgiving, because a long time ago there were very nice Native Americans who helped the Pilgrims grow food. So the Pilgrims said thank you by sharing their food and having a big dinner, just like we do now. Okay? Have a good day.